నందకుమార గోపాల నవనిత చోర గోపాల నందకుమార నవనిత చోర నందనందన గోపాల 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 గోకుల నందన గోపాల 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 గోకుల నందన గోపాల. అనాథ రక్షక గోపాల ఆపద్బాంధవ గోపాల అనాథ రక్షక ఆపద్బాంధవ అఖిలాధార గోపాల 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 గోకుల నందన గోపాల 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 గోకుల నందన గోపాల 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 గోకుల నందన గోపాల 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 గోకుల నందన గోపాల. नंद के दुलारे यशोदा के प्यारे नंद के दुलारे यशोदा के प्यारे गोविंद मुरारे गोविंद मुरारे दीनों के सहारे गोविंद मुरारे दीनों के सहारे नंद के दुलारे यशोदा के प्यारे. हरि ओम. सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। We are on the 13th mantra in the 4th valli, page 199. Repeat after me. Angushtamatra purushah ज्योतिरिवा धूमकः ईशानो भूतभव्यस्य स एवाद्य स ऊष्वः। स एवाद्य स ऊष्वः। ये तद्वै तत्। Last time we saw that usually the Upanishads leave it to the abstractness to identify the aspect of divinity, because trying to define that consciousness with any sort of shape, size, form is quite an impossible task. Though it supports every form, every being, every aspect of existence, yet that is something which is formless, that which is nameless. So in the technical words, we call it as Nirguna Nirakara Tattva. Nirguna, guna meaning qualities or attributes. Nirguna, having no qualities or attributes. Nirakara, Nirakara, no shape. Akara is shape. Nirakara, having no shape or a specific form. When you go to these fairs, Mela, Texas Fair, have you been there? So they have these balloons and they create it into different shapes, especially on February 14th. You'll find red heart-shaped, right? And they blow the air into it and tie it up. And you bring that for your beloved. And after a day, what happens to that balloon? It deflates and starts falling. That is what happens to the heart also after a few days. The air that has gone in, does it have a heart shape? There are some who make it into a dog or a rabbit or a flower. Does the air have any of such forms? Without air, can there be such form created out of that balloon? No. Though that air supports that form, and yet it does not have its own form per se. Similarly, that Paramatma or that consciousness does not have a form, Nirakara, Nirguna Nirakara Tattva. I usually use it to save myself when somebody gives me something to eat which has no taste to it and it looks very bland, and they've done it with a lot of love and they give. Once I was at somebody's house and this lady said, I'll quickly make some tea for you. And she made that tea. It was not having the taste of tea. The only thing that was common in the tea that I have experienced is the heat aspect of it. It was hot. Technically, what was happening in my head was it is water boiled and spoiled to be called as tea. But I cannot say that in her face. And she was at the gunpoint holding me ransom, saying, how is it, Swamiji? I cannot say it like, it will hurt her. So then I finally came up with this saying that, Amma, your tea is like Nirgun Nirakar Parabrahm Paramatma. And the moment she saw it compared to Paramatma, she felt happy. Little did she know what did I refer to. Nirguna, there are no qualities to your tea. Nirakara, it does not come resemblance to any shape or form of tea. No attributes, no qualities, no shape, no form. Paramatma Tattva is like that. But this Upanishad makes a brave attempt for initial seekers to visualize something at a very personal level. This is Angushta Matrah Purushaha. We have defined Angushta Matraha and Purushaha in the last mantra. Here Purushaha does not mean based on gender. It is not Purusha and Stri. All the feminists, if they see this particular mantra, they would take out a banner. Ban kathopanishad. Because it is promoting Purusha and not giving equal status to the... I think we should post this on the Devika group, the Facebook group. Angushta Matrah Purushaha. Purusha here does not mean Jiva, the individual soul. It does not mean that either. That definition would be Purishayanat Purushaha. That who is living in this Pura, in this body, identified with it, is that Jiva. That is also not what is being said. The third definition of Purusha is Purnatvat Purushaha. Purnatvat, that which is complete unto itself, that consciousness. Where does it reside? It is all pervading. There is no one specific spot that we can say that it exists here. The moment you make such statement, it presupposes that the rest of the body, it is not there. For example, you all come from your different places. You are here now. What does it mean? That where you have started, you are not there. You are here, at least physically. Right? Yes, no, some movement. You all tease Indians for their Indian nod, and that is sometimes what we do. So getting back onto the topic, you are there, you are not here. If you are here, you are not there. Right? When you say that this is the place where that consciousness is, it presupposes that it is not elsewhere. That is not what this is trying to do. Though being all pervasive, one good spot to identify that consciousness is in the Anahata Chakra, which is right at your heart chakra. Right where the rib cage parts, where you feel your feelings. When you're sad, when you're feeling bad, something deep inside is sucking you from inside. That spot. Now we can go all ballistic about, that it is all pervasive. Why do I need this focal point? So there was this biker riding on the streets without his headlamp. The cop pulled him over. They said, "Hey, do you realize why I stopped you?" I said, "Your headlight is not on." And this fellow was a smart aleck, wanted to show off, said, "Can't you see light is everywhere? How does it matter if my bike has it or not?" The cop also had must have gone through his own set of teenagers. Immediately, very dutifully bent down and removed the air from the tire. He released it. "Hey, what are you doing?" He said, "Air is everywhere. How does it matter if your specific bike has it or not?" Yes, God is everywhere. But to tune our mind to one focal point so that that becomes the starting point does not mean to say that Paramatma is not there because you are seeing it here. If it is everywhere, then you should be able to focus on certain point as well. Therefore, we have temples. Similarly, though that consciousness with respect to this body is all pervasive, head to toe, one good place to focus is the Anahata Chakra. There are usually two spots often referred in meditation. One is the heart chakra and one is in the Agnya Chakra. In Bhagavad Gita, we find reference in the 6th chapter wherein Bhagavan says, focus on Nasikagram Swam. Nasika means the nose. Nasikagra. Now, Agra has two meanings. The starting point or the tip. Definitely there is no chakra here. That would be weird, right? Everybody sitting in. What are you doing? Focusing on my Nasikagra. Here it does not mean the tip, it means the starting point, Agra. Agrasthana meaning starting point. And that is right here. And that is where you have to apply your Chandan Kumkum Tika. And that is one of the reasons that you apply it. I mean, I tell very funnily to people, why do you put Chandan? I said, that is the only spot where I can have different things. Rest of the things are all common. I don't have a choice. So I paste my advertisement on the billboard. But the actual reason is while applying, you are activating your Anahata Chakra, wherein that entire energy throughout the system is drawn to that one point. But that is for little more evolved seekers. But to start with, the best place to start is right here. When you close your eyes, imagine to draw all the lower energy up to this point. Draw all the upper energy down to this point and tie it in there. And there visualize the consciousness throbbing as a spark which is of this size, Angushta Matrah Purushaha. It is glowing. Meditate on that glowing aspect wherein you can merge from being a person observing it to become that which is being observed. That there is no more difference of the one observing and the one being observed, but you are that flame. Do you understand the step here? Adhumakaha, there is no blemish in it. Usually when there is flame, it flickers and it has some black soot coming out of it. The black smoke that is coming out of it. This is adhumakaha, meaning it has no such blemishes. Jyotihi, very glowing form. And that is what is permeating throughout the body. So the first step is to draw the entire energy from up and down into that point of the heart chakra. Second, to visualize a glowing form which is of the size of your thumb. And from there on, it is permeating, it is pervading throughout your body. And it is not from the standpoint of I observing it, I becoming that glowing form, I permeate. Now, if you can do this, it has been observed, it has been medically observed that any kind of ailments, any kind of physical disalignment can be repaired if you can start from that Anahata chakra spreading all across, internal or external. But the intensity has to be becoming that glowing light. And then the next step is to visualize that glow pervading everything around you, touching as though in your visualization everything around you, and you become more perceiving of all the sounds, all the movement around you, and then bringing it back to that little space inside, wherein having reached, no sound, no movement from outside can distract you or disturb you. See, when do you have freedom? When do you call it as a freedom? When you can associate with will and when you can disassociate with will. That is when you have freedom. It is not just about disassociating. It's with the same easiness to be observant and be able to associate and then withdraw to that point. Adhumakaha. That consciousness. Ishanaha bhuta bhavyasya is the Lord Ishanaha of the past, present and the future. So we all have questions, right? Why did God do this? Who can answer it, really speaking? Can you or I answer it? You have to find him and then nail him down with this question. Why did you do this? And where is that God? He is right here, throbbing as that consciousness. So all your questions that you have with God, where can you communicate it with? Right in your heart. Because he is the boss of, he is the Lord of past, present and future. And last time we also saw that past, present and future is just a point of reference. There is nothing absolute about past or absolute about future or absolute about present. What is absolute is the presence. Because you cannot really identify the present moment. When you ask somebody time, does anybody have a watch? What's the time? 7:25, 7:21, 7:23, 7:21. He was like, why do I need a watch? I have my cell phone. I can look at it and tell you. Was that the attitude with which you saw it? I could see that. Are you really giving me the present time? Because there's so much of processing happening. I have asked a question, it reaches your ears, you process it, and having processed and grasped what I'm asking, then you move your hand, look at the watch, you look at the time, you process it again, and then verbalize it and loudly say it. By the time you have said it, you are already mentioning of something which is of past tense, not of the present. The moment you cognize a moment, it has already become past. So you cannot ever say technically that I am living in the present. No, you cannot. The moment you have recognized it, it has become past. What you are recognizing is of the past as the present. What you can recognize is the presence, is that consciousness which is aware of it, which is beyond time and space. Therefore, the Lord of past, present, future. When I say past, present, future, it includes both aspects of time and space. Time and space in the past, time and space in the present, time and space in the future. Because I can transcend it beyond time and space, such one is called the Lord of time and space. Therefore, they can have, such ones who have transcended it, can have a beautiful glimpse into what we call future, a beautiful glimpse into what we call as past, and complete accessibility of what we recognize as present. And such are the masters whom we often hear, that they are present in multiple places in multiple times. Every person who is new to spirituality often comes to read a book called Autobiography of a Yogi. Have you all gone through it? There is one Swamiji that he mentions, Prabhavanandji. He meets him on the docks. And he is leaving on the boat that he has come from. He is leaving. When he reaches his ashram, after 15 minutes, he finds him there. And he is like, are you twins? Because I saw one of you leaving. I see you here. He said, no, that was my welcome to you. But you are going in that boat. No, I am here right now. There was another Sadashiva Brahmendra Saraswati. We tend to hear a lot of his bhajans. Have you heard of a bhajan called Pibare Ramarasam or Bruhi Mukundeti? These are all written in Sanskritam. And there's often spoken about him that his birthday was celebrated in 5 different places. In all 5 places, he was available. Is it even a possibility? Time traveler. No, you transcend time and space. You can express easily at all times, all spaces. Because you are that all-pervading self. Seems mystical, seems mysterious, but not for the one who has gathered a control over himself, transcended this time and space, and can pervade in every dimension possible. Sayeva adya, sayeva u shvaha. That is the common, that is the permanent. Yesterday, adya, today, shvaha, tomorrow. When they are using the language of the mortal sense, for him there is no past, present, future. With respect to us, it is that substantial reality which has been, which is, and which shall be. Ye tat vaitat. So where do we start our sadhana of meditation? Many of you keep asking, right, Swamiji, meditation. I don't know about the other techniques that are in the market out there, because I believe that which is given in the scriptures as authentic. There are 2 beautiful mentions, one in Bhagavad Gita, one here. I would consider, the masters have considered this as the first step, and what is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita as the second step. For many of us who are beginning, where should we start? Right here. So what is the step-by-step process? I'll go over the entire process again. First, park your body in the most undistracted, unstressful format. Sit in an asana which is the most comfortable. When I say sit in the asana most comfortable, do not take the shavasana, because we are quite an expert to sleep even while sitting. And what will happen when you sleep? We have seen in Yoga Nidra classes, right? We have just started and people, we start hearing them snore. You just started. In 2 minutes, observe your breath. Am I making this up? So sit in a posture wherein understand that TSA is directly proportional to lethargy. What is TSA? Total surface area. The more the surface area, the higher the lethargy. So sit in a way wherein the least amount of body is in touch with any kind of support. But at the same time, don't sit in a very convoluted posture that after a while it gets frozen and then you need somebody with a crowbar to pull your leg out and then stretch you out with a crane. Now, there are some who go into this hyper mode and suddenly they say Padmasana. After 5 minutes, it's not coming. You're trying to pull, it is frozen. Don't put yourself through that kind of a misery. Best is Sukhasana, crisscross applesauce. Your back should be straight. Your neck and head aligned to that posture. Chin up. Suddenly people become introverted. Chin up. And then your hands, many are taught to place it like this, but inadvertently we start drooping our hands and it's not good. So instead, place it, interlock it and place it in your lap. Okay? And then close your eyes. Having closed your eyes, focus on your inhalation and exhalation. Breathe in and out. Initially regulate that speed in such a way that it is slowest possible inhalation and slowest possible exhalation. And once you have regulated it, you don't need to put the effort. Observe the breath moving in and out. In fact, when you are very conscious of it, you can feel the cold air going in. On an empty stomach, have you ever had a cup of coffee, the first sip? As the first sip goes down, do you feel that heat going in? A similar pattern, you will feel that cold air going in into your lungs. And as you're breathing out, you'll feel that hot air coming out through your nostrils. Observe every movement as it is going in and out. It's so much to observe. How can the mind have anything else to focus on? But we are champions at it. We all love that to get distracted every which way. The moment you get distracted, come back, reascertain your posture, again start focusing on your breath. Don't get frustrated with your mind. Don't attempt to stop it. Don't attempt to control it. But instead, divert your mind through this focus on breath. Having thus ascertained Once you have reached to a certain peaceful environment within, breathing gives that peace within, immediately, instantly. Draw all your energy from, like as you are breathing out, pull all the energy from down into your anahata. As you are breathing in, pull all the energy from up down to your anahata. There, visualize the conscious glowing aspect and become one with it. That you are not observing it, you are that glowing, radiating angushta matra, this size glow within. And if you can retain your mind being that glow in a half an hour meditation for half a minute, consider yourself quite successful. Because mind keeps running up and down, outside, inside. Again, don't get frustrated. Redo the entire process and get back to that focal point. Then expand it. Embrace it with the environment outside. Having become conscious of that environment, slowly withdraw from all that would be considered as a distraction. Bring it back to that focal point. And once you do this, you will realize nothing from outside, no sound, no movement, nothing from outside can ever disturb. At this point, you have achieved what is called single-pointed existence. You can apply that single-pointedness anywhere. You take it further into that silence and dwell in that silence. And don't do it from the observer's perspective. Maja aa raha hai. This silence is good. Baba, meditation is not like eating a laddu. Maja aa raha hai. The moment that thought comes in, your meditative experience, which has to go beyond doer and enjoyership, has come down to the materialistic aspect of enjoyership. You already slipped down to grossest expression. Uplift it again. And when do you think you should move to the next stage? When you can close your eyes and order that mind to move to that point, and it does so without effort. That accessibility shows that you have grown to the next stage. Ye tat vaitat. This is it. How much more simpler can it be explained? Right? But then there's a word of caution. Not with respect to the process, in preparation to that process. That is given in the next mantra. If you all can repeat after me. Yathodakam durge vrishtam parvateshu vidhavati yevam dharman prathak pashyan tenevanuvidhavati. What is the word of caution? The word of caution is, mind indeed is a very powerful tool that we possess. But what happens to that power? It is constantly dissipating itself. If there is a pot and your task is to fill that pot with water, but you did not realize that the pot is a holy one. It has multiple cracks and holes in it. However long you keep filling it, will it ever fill? Will it ever be content? Why? And then on the top of it, it would lead only to frustration. How long can I do it? It's constantly. Before you start filling it in, what is the sane thing to do? Unfortunately, you do not have a replacement. I'll go to Walmart, get a bigger pot, a better pot. Thank goodness the internal systems are not tinkerable. Otherwise, China would have produced it in bulk. All that you have is that pot, that instrument. Presently, it is leaking in all directions. All that we have to do now is find a method to seal it first and then let it heal. Otherwise, there are so many avenues that it constantly is flowing out with. Distractions are plenty. The grossest of the distractions are Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. Shabda, sounds, greatest distraction. That is why in our gatherings, when we sit, one of the foremost requests or even order is that shut your stupid phones off. And Gurudev was giving lectures, and if somebody made a noise, somebody was creating distraction. There was one day, you know how this, traditional Indians, I would say cheap sometimes. Instead of having a bag, they'll have this plastic. And that plastic which has that, that crushy, irritating sound. And every so often you put a pen, again close it, again you take it out and then take something else, again close it, and constantly. In today's modern world, the comparable situation would be these bags have the Velcro. Constantly. Enough, take everything out or put everything in. Don't. One day this fellow was like constantly irritating everybody. So Gurudev stopped his lecture, looked intently at that person, and he said, "Meet me after this session. I'll buy you a good bag. Until then, throw it away. Don't dare touch it again." Your instability is causing distress to these 20,000 people sitting here. And that can be a distraction. Shabda. Sparsha. Sparsha, the touch. Too hot, too cold. Rupa. Somebody goes by. The lady in the red in the matrix. Do you know what I'm referring to? Quite a distraction. Form. Anything beautiful. Easily get distracted. Gandha, smell. The mind has all these different, you shut all these. So the jnanendriyas are shut. Then what happens? The mind starts running out through karmendriyas. There's so much of movement and fidgety by nature. And even if that is curtailed, curtailed. This is just at the gross level. Now, once you go subtler than that, the mind is hanging over. It has too many hangovers. That day, that happened in front of everybody. I was scolded. And that thing is leaking since then. Somebody said something, I'm hurt. Somebody did something, I'm hurt. I'm pain. Constantly, there's so much of leaks inside. What happens to an instrument when the battery that you have put in is leaking? It corrodes everything. Similarly, inside. In Hindi, we call it bheja karab. You're spoiling. It's constantly leaking. And sometimes these leaks are 15, 20, 30 years long. That long it has been septic inside. Bring closure to each of these events. Wrap them up. At least many of you do not have that kind of vast past of this life. Wrap them up now, immediately. Don't let those unnecessary wounds keep leaking all through your life. Not worth. Past is done. However brutal that past be, if it is still bleeding, will not benefit in the present. Let it go. Was it in Legos? Let it go, let it go. Frozen. Everything is awesome, right? So let it go. You know, in the Star Trek, there is this one species or clan called Klingons. Do you know who are they? You and I. We keep clinging on to this unresolved past. Resolve them one by one. Write it down. All those. And find solutions for it. Don't let them dissipate. Otherwise, that is one aspect. The other aspect of it is constantly wool gathering. Today, after this is done, then I'll go there, I'll do that, and then I'll do that also. And then I'll have this. You're creating castles in air. That is not the time for it. Find a separate moment to sit down and create a plan, executable plan which can be worked at. So the outside distractions, inside distractions, these are dissipating. Plug them up all. Then there are trickling thoughts. Disassociate with them. Refocus yourself onto the breath. Even those trickling thoughts finally will pause. You know what we do with those trickling thoughts? It is like that little kid. Doesn't matter what kind of puddle of water it is. The moment they see that water, what do? Constantly. It can even be their own what you have not seen kids or what? You have not been one or what? It's a naked fact of life. Literally and figuratively. We do the same thing with our thoughts. Their thoughts, they're trickling down. You don't need to identify what that thought is, what that content is, what that direction is. It's a movement. Disassociate, stop referring to, stop indulging in that thought. Step outside and see it just as a movement. And then focus on your breath. Thought can continue by itself only if you are involved in it. You, that consciousness, when disassociates with the thought cannot have the momentum to move forward. Because it is nothing but matter. Matter does not have itself a battery or a self-energizing system to keep itself moving. It has to have the power, it has to have the blessings of that consciousness to keep itself moving. You disassociate, what happens to it? It will have a momentum, but then it will die. Instead, what do? What is this thought? What is the content of the thought? What is a good thought, bad thought? Why do you want to label it? It's a movement, let it happen. Disassociate, observe it. Otherwise, having reached to that inner sanctum, we still slip and fall. Yatha udakam durge vrishtam parvateshu vidhavati. Udakam, like waters, when it rains forth on inaccessible areas of the mountain, it falls all on the stones. What happens to that water? It falls and drains in different directions. Similarly, the mind, with all its beautiful powers, constantly leaking, going on to these various rocks of life and constantly dissipating itself, does not have enough strength, energy to focus on anything useful or that which matters. By that time, it's already drained. Such are the people who wake up in the morning saying, I am tired. You just woke up. How can you be tired? I know, but I need coffee. I need Red Bull. Something to whip myself up. You don't need any external stimulus to keep yourself awake. But we have not trained ourselves to find these leaks and fix them. Without fixing them, get into meditation, it will be of no use, no benefit. Stop fooling yourself by thinking that if I meditate, it will automatically plug it. Would that ever happen? As you enter into a room, it is stinking. But instead of finding where the stench is coming from, you light agarbatti. You light, not light, turn that glade. And what is those Febreze or whatever, the room fresheners, pump them in. Still, would it remove that stench? Clean that up, open the windows, aerate it, and the stench is gone. Instead of taking the long route but certain route, we want shortcuts. And meditation is not one such shortcut which will fix everything up. Fix everything up and then sit on the seat of meditation, you will easily see how beautiful it is to glide into the next realm. Now, these days I keep hearing, oh, you are having tension, do meditation. You are having blood pressure, do meditation. You are having heart problem, do meditation. You are having abscess, do meditation. What is it, a quick fix glue or something? That you put everything in that? It's not going to work that way. Fix all these leaks, fix all these dissipative forms, and then that cohesive mind with all its energy in, focused on the seat of meditation, it gathers that momentum to glide through to the next stage. There's one more mantra, then we will have ended the fourth Valli. Then there is one more section that we will see next week. Any questions on meditation? If anybody online has questions, please send it to the group me. Please open up your group me's and tell me if there are questions. Go ahead, sorry.
So, let's say, like you're saying, like the leak has been going on for 15, 30 years, how long it's been going on. I mean, I think you remember the 12. You know, something happened a long time ago in your past, just like repressed to the point where it's like not important anymore. Then it's gone.
Something that has happened long time ago and you don't remember it, and that it doesn't bother you at this moment, then don't need to go there, dig it up and create that leak and then go fix it. What is the Texan rule? If it ain't broke, don't fix. So you don't need to break it to fix it. If it is something that is bothering you, if it is something that is disturbing you, if it is something that is distracting you, clear those out. Long time ago something happened, now that it is so insignificant that doesn't even bother. You don't even need to visit it. Right? Any other questions?
So yeah, as you said, like you can clear it. So how to clear it? By talking to yourself and
I did mention how to clear. Sit down, take a paper and pen, nothing better than that. Write them down as to what are those distractions and disturbances. Having written them down, having jotted them down, go into each one detail. And you are writing notes for yourself. Each one, why is that distraction? Why is that disturbing me? What triggered it? And finding the root cause. Many a times, 99% of the times, right at the root cause, right next to it is standing the solution, which we have ignored. It takes a lot of effort and removing the ego out of picture to find that solution. Find that solution and apply it so that it does not disturb you any further. So the key factor is to go to the root level, putting the ego aside, not being the ego to investigate it. Then you never find the root cause. Many times we are lost in the loop because the ego is trying to justify itself having that leak. It doesn't help. So put that stupid ego aside. Whose ego? My own stupid ego aside, and then identify it. You'll find the solution right next to it. There is never a problem without a solution. It's just that we are too egotistical to find that solution. What? Not clear?
oh no, I was trying to remember what you were saying.
Okay. Yes.
So I'm thinking in terms of Bhagavad Gita, we see Arjuna in chapter 1 as his leaks and catching of those. I guess for most human beings, it's not just a few moments on a battlefield, it goes on for years. It's not even the time. But it's not until chapter 6 that he gets to the time. So what do you recommend also in addition to writing down or spotting different tactics, I guess, volunteering the time doing say blending, or should you just stick to one?
Arjuna had one leak on the battlefield and Bhagwan Krishna was right next to him to fix it. And even to such Arjuna, it took at the 6th chapter, no. It took all the way up to 11th chapter for him to find that there is a leak and it has to be fixed. 6th chapter is too early. It took him 11 chapters to go through. And what Bhagavan was doing, but since Bhagavan is not with you right now in the physical form, what Bhagavan was doing was taking all these steps for the sake of Arjuna, as if writing it down and going through them one by one. And there is no shortcut to it. For those internal leaks, this is the way. For Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga are different methods, but not a solution for this particular situation. Therefore, investigate, analyze, do the contemplation to find a solution. There is no shortcut. There is no other method. No more questions? Digital or online?
Follow-up to her question. Does that mean that the contemplation is jnana yoga?
Yes, contemplation is the Jnana Yoga. No questions? Guys, if after 2 minutes I get it, I'm not going to answer. Last time there was somebody who came saying, there is one question. I'm giving still them 30 seconds.
There's like a lag, right? Because we send the link out and then they start watching.
There's 30 seconds lag.
Okay.
Can the solution ever be just like secluding yourself,
That's probably more.
running away?
No, never. Okay. Om Shanta Shanta Shanti Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.